God damn it. Okay, I just realized that Discord fucked up again. God, I hate this program sometimes. It is so fucking annoying. There's no reason it should reset every fucking time. Ah! Okay, whatever. Sorry, I didn't realize y'all have been sitting in silence for 5 minutes. Hello, everyone. It's lovely to see you all. Please let me know if the audio is okay. I'm on a brand new sound system. So it is very possible that my voice is going to sound different, and it is also going to be much louder than it normally is. So if that is the case, let me know. But because I had to crank my audio like way down, the mic audio, so I can make myself significantly louder. But hopefully that won't be necessary. But hello everyone, it's good to be back. I'm refreshed. My body was almost shattered by the efforts of OFFKAI. But I have survived. Oh, we didn't finish Astrologian? Damn. Alright, I thought I finished it before I left. Turns out I didn't. Well, we might finish that today, just for funsies then. But I'd also like to do some Eureka, early on. Because Eureka gives us a much easier time to chat. Because finishing Astrologian will have me focused on that. But, it is very, very good to be home. I did miss you all. I'm sorry that my leaving was, rather chaotic. It did not exactly go the way I had intended for it to go. I very much wanted to, oh, I don't have a Wondrous Tale. Okay, I need to get one. I had intended to, like, do a bunch of stuff before I left, and instead, a lot of things imploded as I was getting ready to leave, and I was painting a mini. I was trying to paint a miniature, for a friend, which, actually, I could show that on stream now. Here, I wanna show y'all this. So, I am about to start doing mini painting streams again, because my setup's all fixed, and I have been painting and stuff, and yeah, I'm really, really excited with how everything's going, but I wanted to show y'all the mini I had been working on for a friend, if I could find it. I also learned, apparently I need to, get some better headphones and start rocking the Mohawk much more often, because I did the Mohawk, it didn't look the way it's supposed to, but it looked as good as it could, for a couple days, and people were super duper nice about, like, it. And a lot of people were like, you look much better with that hairstyle than your normal hairstyle. No offense to your normal hairstyle. And I was like, damn. But, so I wanted to show y'all. So I have a friend named Inari Reiju, who is a VTuber, which is OFFKAI is all about VTubers. And last year, when I went to OFFKAI, she got me like she made me, both last year and this year, she made like these super cute little wearable ribbon type things. And I loved them very much. And she made my con experience last year go from being potentially terrible and kind of nerve-wracking to like super amazing. and she's become a very dear friend of mine over the last year. So I wanted to make something really cool for her, and also, fun fact, she was in the top 3 of people that supported me the most during the subathon, so that meant she was also entitled to a mini. So I thought, I had to think, and I thought about, like, what would be a good mini for her, because she doesn't play Warhammer. She barely knows anything about Warhammer at all. So I was like, what could I give her that would feel good? And what I ended up deciding was that she is being Inari Reiju, she is like a Spirit Fox VTuber. You know, like a Kitsune type thing. So I looked for the closest thing we have to Kitsunes in Warhammer, which is a Lumineth Realm Lord's Hurricane Wind Spirit. And so I took the model, I did a teeny tiny bit of kit bashing, I made some fancy terrain for it, and this was the result. So I painted this all up by hand. I do not use...
6 months of the Snake Lord, so you win.
Hey, Snotling! Thank you so much for the 6 months, Snotling. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you. So this is the mini I painted for Inari. I painted it in secret because I didn't want anybody to spoil her that I was doing it. And I was worried that if I streamed it, she would find out, because a lot of the people that are my friends are her friends, and also she sometimes pops into streams. So I wanted to make sure that nobody spoiled it. So I apologize for not streaming it. But so you can see here, I painted it in her color schemes. I worked pretty hard on it. I made like a wire tree. And got like a bunch of like cherry blossom type petals, so I was able to make like a tree that it looks like the spirit's coming out of, and then I basically painted it in her color scheme, and took a couple of liberties with some colors, but I'm really proud with how it turned out.
Great work. Looking forward to the Project Zomboid update tomorrow.
I'd rather kill myself, but thank you, Biofoot. So I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I was able to handle a lot of the details really well, and did a shitload of dry brushing and a shitload of very careful application of colors. But the next few minis minis going forward, I intend to paint on stream. It is very rare that I will ever paint a mini not on stream again. So, y'all will get to come along with me for those rides, because I've fixed my setup for that. So we should be able to do hand cam streams without too many issues. But I just wanted to show that, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. And, yeah, should be a really good time. But, OFFKAI was super fun. I had a very good time. OFFKAI is always, it's always a little bit of a weird thing sometimes for me, because in some ways, I still sort of feel like a... Why is Final Fantasy not showing up on stream? It should be. It's probably because OBS updated. Will that fix it? Oh, great. I'll get to do some troubleshooting here while I'm talking with y'all. But it's always a little weird, because obviously I am not technically a VTuber myself. So it's a bit like traveling into a foreign country in some ways, especially because a lot of the people you'll meet are already have been friends for 5 to 10 years.
Nice.
Good to see you too, Hawk. Thank you for the 69 months. Nice. Why, Final Fantasy, why are you being a bitch, hun?
X300. Hey, Sotek. Glad to see you're back. I hope Z Lady had guided
Whoa,
you.
they changed things. Holy shit. Okay. Oh, this is weird. Okay. This is like super weird. Sorry, OBS had an update today. And like, holy moly, they changed some stuff. Come on, baby, work for me here. I really don't want to have to... God damn it, dude. I love when... I didn't know it was a release today. I thought it had been out for a bit. I'd been gone for a while. I don't know when this update came out. Okay, we'll just cheat. That's fine. Oh, that's gonna be super annoying, actually. Okay, let's do that. We can cheat by doing...
Snortling Viti cheered. X100. A likely story kappa.
Yeah. Oh, that'll work. Okay. That's not exactly what I wanted, but it'll suffice. It's not perfect, but it'll do. Alright. Anyway, so, let me get caught up on all this stuff. Skywalpa, thank you very much for the 21 months. I appreciate that very much. Biofoot, thank you for the 56 months. But yeah, I did have a super duper good time. I am not shy with sharing, y'all. Thank you for the hype train, by the way, guys. First of all, really appreciate any and all tips and donations and all that stuff. Because, oh boy, it was expensive. And I bought a lot of goodies. And I also ate a lot of food. And, man, God, the hotel was so expensive. The hotel was so expensive. But, especially because I would like and am intending to go on another trip in a few months. So, I will be recouping costs like a motherfucker. And the next OFFKAI is now 4 months earlier than this OFFKAI. So instead of having a full year to get ready, we only have 8 months to get ready. Thank you for the 5 gifts, I really appreciate it. Sorry, thank you for the super chat. I'll get around to that in just a second. Yes, it was a super duper duper good trip. You know what? While we're chilling here, I'm just gonna do like little daily stuff just to kind of... Oh, fuck. I haven't spent any elegant tombstones. I'm full on elegant tombstones. Ah! Okay. There goes all the Donathon money. A lot of it has gone towards a number of things. But that's what they're for. Because I've got some other stuff I gotta do, as well in the coming future. Anyway, so, all that to say, I had a really, really, really good time. There were definitely some times I was spooked and I felt out of my element. And there were, it's like I said, it's weird. There's a lot of bad brainworms. At least for me. I don't know how it is for everyone else. I feel like I am not the only one that feels the way that I do. Where like there are times like you find out about gatherings and you're like, oh dang, I wish I could like do something like that, but I don't know how to do that. Or like you see someone and you hope to spend more time with them, but they're like super busy. And like at the end of the day, you can only be so many places at once and you're not necessarily the highest priority, but that's not because they don't want to spend time with you. It's just that like everybody's life is super chaotic and stuff. And I had, in my 20s, I was actually talking to somebody about this at the con, of that in my 20s, I had a really, really hard time, like, not taking things really personally, like, all the time. Like, if I tried to talk to someone and didn't hear back from them, like, fairly quickly, I was like, oh, they're mad at me, or they're, like, avoiding me, or, like, I did something. And I think I did a pretty good job this year of like keeping those kinds of thoughts under control. Like I definitely still had a couple of incidents, but every single one of them, just like rational thought would tell you, it ended up not being what like I thought it was. Like if there was a time where I was like, oh, someone is deliberately avoiding me. Every single time it turned out like, no, that was not the case at all. It was like there was a genuine emergency that happened like one time. Like everybody, I went to an event and I was kind of there with some friends, and it's this thing called Oshibar, and like which is basically like a club type thing. Which club things are always difficult for me because I don't drink. So like going to a bar or a club where in some ways to get the full experience kind of revolves around like drinking, or being with like a group of people that you're going to spend the whole event with. And like I was with a group of people, and then like everyone started just like slowly but surely vanishing without explanation. And I was like, what, like, where'd everybody go? And I was like, oh, everyone just kind of like left to go like maybe they went to like the private area where I'm not cool enough to get back there because only certain kinds of people are allowed back there, or maybe they just left and didn't tell me and whatever. Nope, ended up being like an actual emergency, and I was like, oh, okay then. So just a lot of stuff. Hawk, no, it's not supposed to be hidden. If it is hidden, are you able to fix it for me? I thought I fixed it, but I may have not been able to fix it. Whatever you gotta do to fix it, feel free to fix it. I forgot that the channel it was based on was a private channel, but if you can't fix it, feel free to just delete it and make a fresh one and remake the announcement, and that's fine. Mix, good to see you. Hi. Mix, super cool. Wait, so is it pronounced Mix or Mike's? I assume it's Mix, but you know what they say about assuming. That gentleman is super fucking nice. Like what a fucking Mix or Meeks. Okay, Meeks is I think I can remember that. Like what an absolute gentleman he is. Oh, okay. I got it. Or Mike's. There you go. He is like such a fucking ace dude. And he's like doing super cool stuff too. With like card games and everything. In fact, let me go in here, because I still have a decent number of these. There we go. And he, absolutely fantastic host. Like, I don't like openly say this, but like, I feel like you can kind of tell a lot about someone by how they host things. And like, cause I'm someone that I'm very, very prideful about how I host events. And like trying to make sure everyone has a good time, and is like, no one's just like sitting by themselves being sad or whatever. And he was just an absolutely fantastic host on Sunday. Just awesome. Hey, Kazumi! Hi, how are you? Kazumi's another super awesome person that I got to hang out with. He even drove me out to dinner one night. Absolute wonderful man. Oh yeah, I'm doing this one wrong. Wow, bot detection actually caught a bot. That's like so rare. that's so unusual. Wait, bot detection actually doing its job? What? Since when? That's genuinely very new. But yeah, Kazumi's super duper good. I hope you got some good rest, dude. You were doing all kinds of crazy busy work. Like both you and Meeks were doing like so much stuff. Just open up Twitch to grab something, and on the front page is just like a woman in lingerie. All right, Twitch. Sure. Why not? I'm not judging. It's just like, I know people that would get in trouble for looking like that, but they're not an IRL streamer or like a flesh streamer. So I guess it's fine if you're like, if you're not a VTuber. Crazy. That's on the front page too. That's bonkers. There he is. What has Sotek been watching? Nothing! That's the thing! It's on the front page! So it doesn't matter what you watch. It's literally gonna be right there. Okay. Sotek streaming? Yes, because I'm back. And I intend to be streaming a lot more. Also, random announcement. One of the things that I was very inspired by... one of the things I was very inspired by at TwitchCon is like how many people there are really, really good at like doing stuff with their communities and doing like community content and community events and all that stuff. And admittedly, this is not a secret here, I'm pretty ass at that. And I would like to start trying to be better about that. So we are going to push forward with our attempts to try and have at least like one day a month dedicated to community stuff. Maybe even more than that. Like, might do as much as once a week if like there's enough interest in stuff. But this Saturday we're gonna do a like community share event. So if you want to share like memes or stuff you've been watching, like other content that you think would be really cool and all that. The only thing that I ask that we learned from last time is that if you want to post something, you try to keep it to one a day. So like if you're like, oh, I want to share this meme or like this other thing, cool. Do one today and then you could do another one tomorrow and you can like do that up to Saturday. Because last time we had a couple of people that posted like a gajillion things. And it's like, I want to see the stuff y'all watch, but I also want to see like a little something from everybody and not just like the one guy that was there early. And we're also going to be doing more community games. So like we're going to play Darktide together this this Saturday. So if you want to play Darktide, be around on Saturday evening. And I'll be playing Darktide with viewers. So if that sounds of interest to you, then be there or be square. Cyan. So thank you for the super chat. First of all, it's good to see you. At what time? I don't know yet. We'll figure that out. Coming up soon. Because I want to just double check to make sure there's nothing else I need to do that day. What did I think of False Gods now that I finished it? So yes, for those that care, and I am going to be making some review videos, not only talking about False Gods, but also the other big books I've been reading through lately. So I'm going to do a review about like the Genevieve series, and I'm going to do a review about Horus Rising, and I'm also going to do one on False Gods, so those will be coming up soon. But False Gods. I have mixed feelings on False Gods. I a part of me definitely is like, wow, that is like, how do I say this? False Gods was, in my opinion, a significant step down in quality from Horus Rising. Horus Rising, I think, was much better of a book. I enjoyed False Gods still. Like, I didn't think it was a bad book. I thought it was pretty good. But I don't think it was nearly as good as Horus Rising. Like, Horus Rising, I was like, wow, that's really good. Whereas I didn't really feel that way about False Gods. False Gods also, it just felt really, really rushed. Like, Horus Rising, I think, had a really nice pacing to it. And it felt like it was really setting you up for, like, a good story and, like, a nice click. False Gods felt like it was trying to rush to a particular conclusion within a very, very limited time frame. Which is probably the case, because to my understanding, the first few books of the Horus Heresy were not written in mind with, like, oh, we're going to take our time with this series. It was like, oh, we got to get to, like, X. We have X amount of books to get this stuff done. And it was really noticeable in False Gods. And it really detracted from the quality of the story, in my opinion. I did not like Horus nearly as much in False Gods as I did in Horus Rising. Horus Rising sets Horus up as a character who feels like he's... how do I say this? It's really tricky to put my thoughts into words on it, which is kind of why I want to, like, sit down and, like, write a review about it so I can actually think about what I'm trying to say, rather than, like, just vomiting it out. But such is the joys of live streaming. I wasn't really sold on the character. It felt like the author, wanted me to think Horus was. Like, the author felt like he was trying to convince me that Horus was, like, a paragon among men. And, like, every time anyone talks about him, it's like, oh my god, Horus is, like, the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, no, he's kind of dumb, to be honest. Like, he's incredibly naive. At minimum. Or maliciously stupid at times. And his fall to chaos was not great. That was definitely the weakest part of the book, in my opinion. I felt his fall to chaos was really bad. I feel like Archaon had a way better fall to chaos storyline than Horus does. And Archaon's happens in a single book, and still isn't perfect. Horus, though, like, he goes from being like, oh, this guy's supposed to be such a paragon that the Emperor, is like, oh, this is my most trusted son, who is the best equipped to do this really difficult job. And it's like, okay, either the Emperor is just the dumbest motherfucker to ever walk the face of the earth, and he has such a horrifically poor understanding of how humans work. Not that the Primarchs are human, but the books treat them kind of like they're human. That's a discussion for another time. But I would give it like a like, keep in mind that I have books that I have read from Black Library that are genuinely, like, 1 out of 10s. Like, are absolute trash. And I have read books that I think are absolute perfect masterpieces. And are 10 out of 10, and I can read them, like, once a month and not get tired of them. Horus Rising was like a 7.5 or an 8, which in my scale is very high. Like a 5 is average. False Gods was like a 5.5 or a 5. Like, it was a good book. I think Captain Loken was still a good character. I like the good guys were really good. I really enjoyed the entire story with Carcassy. I think Carcassy is probably the best character, or one of the best characters in both books. Like, I genuinely think he is the best character in Horus Rising and False Gods. And I'm gonna give spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers, just cover your ears for like 30 seconds. So 30 seconds, come back in 30 seconds. Last warning, you get 30 seconds. Come back in 30 seconds. Last warning. Alright. But, Carcassy dying made perfect sense, but I'm also really sad that he's dead, because I genuinely think he's, like, one of the best characters. Because he is literally, like, the voice of reason. Like, he's like the truth, right? Like, he's literally the living truth of a character. He's the ugly truth, which is why he's such, like, he's kind of an alcoholic and a bit of a pervert. And there is some ugliness to his soul, but it's because he's literally the ugly truth embodied in a human being. And so him getting murdered makes sense for the story, but it also feels like, I really wish he had lived a lot longer. I was disappointed we lost him as early as we did. But like biggest downsides of the book, Horus Falling to Chaos sucked. Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. Like, oh, it makes Horus look so dumb. It makes Horus look so dumb. I really liked Magnus. I thought Magnus was super cool. And I was like, wow, I actually really like Magnus. Like, he gets put in a really interesting dilemma, and he makes like a difficult decision. But Magnus, like, I'm sure I will get to a later book where he'll do something really dumb. But where I'm at, which is only in book 2 of the series, I think Magnus actually played his cards really, really well. I don't like Erebus writing-wise. Erebus kind of feels like a Chaos Mary Sue. Where they don't show you that Erebus is like a very clever Chaos cultist. Because I really don't like the way the series handles him. I feel like Erebus should have been handled completely differently. And it really feels like he should have had a significant storyline. Like, he should have already, by this point of the series, which is book 2, he should have already had, like, a significant story beat about why he's doing the shit that he's doing. And as of yet, there is zero explanation. And I feel like I'm not going to get one for a very long time. It's crazy to me that Erebus doesn't get any background. or the word bearers don't get any background, and that Lorgar has yet to make an appearance, when they are literally like the architects of everything going on. Super weird. Not a big fan of it. Feels like Lorgar should be like one of the main characters, and he's just non-existent. Let's see what other stuff. Assuming Erebus just does it for love of the game. Yeah, but like, it'd be cool if the book would like establish that. Like, is that just what word bearers are like? Or is that just what Erebus is like? I do like how the book has a very interesting approach to chaos, compared to what we see in fantasy. Like I don't remember, the Lord of Shadows, the demon that talks to Horus, that should have been Be'lakor, and I don't understand why it's not Be'lakor, because it's described like it's Be'lakor, because it's a guy, it's a demon literally called the Lord of Shadows, and he manipulates shadows, which is what Be'lakor does, and Be'lakor is called the Shadow Master. Why is it not Be'lakor? It's just some, like, random-ass demon I've never heard of. But, like, this random-ass demon shows up who represents the 4 major powers, which is also kind of weird. But this demon shows up and he's like, hey, like, what's up? And he lies a whole bunch. Like, he tells a bunch of very, very... Like, if you know Chaos, you're like, okay, this guy's full of shit. But obviously Horus doesn't know really anything about Chaos. But, once again, this is the second book in the Horus Heresy where I have walked away feeling like the Emperor is the dumbest motherfucker in existence. And the fact that he didn't foresee any of this coming, not from like a literal foresight, like not as in like using the warp to see the future, but in using common sense to figure out how his enemies would potentially move against him. It really feels like the Emperor's just an absolute fucking dunce. But we'll see what the future holds. Obviously, we haven't like actually gotten to meet the Emperor yet. The only time we see the Emperor is like kind of in a... It's hard to tell if it's a flashback or if it's a... It's hard for me to tell if it's a flashback or if it's like an alternate reality, or like a vision that didn't actually happen. The whole thing about like how Horus and his brothers were stolen by the Chaos Powers, which I'm also gonna say I think is kind of a stupid plotline. Like that's the most random, like Deus Ex thing for Chaos to pull off. But to my understanding, that story is like significantly different later in the Heresy. In Horus Rising, it's like Chaos just like zaps a portal into existence. But to my understanding, later in the Heresy, it has something to do with like their quote-unquote mother. So like there's another person involved. Because the way it happens in the book, it like just happens out of fucking nowhere. So yeah, there's all that. Horus's Fall definitely does feel rushed, probably because I mentioned the Heresy would be way shorter, but I feel like Galaxy in Flames is a big step up. Most of McNeil's books are better. I bought Galaxy in Flames. I haven't started reading it yet, but I did buy it. Hugh, good to see you, dude. Thanks so much for coming by. Also, Attila, hi. Exiled One, good to see you. Hello, welcome to the stream. Godzilla, hope you're doing well. Yeah, Magnus is like, feels like the one smart Primarch right now. Like, in that book, really feels like Magnus was like the one person who actually had a good idea of what the fuck was going on, which was very funny to me. Considering like what his reputation is, like obviously I wouldn't consider myself like an authority by any stretch on the Horus Heresy or 40k. But like, you know, everybody knows the meme of people saying like Magnus was right, and like everyone basically is like, oh, Magnus is like the dumbest motherfucker in the setting. And I'm like, I mean, so far he seems like he's literally the only not idiot in the setting, besides like Captain Loken. And, Carcassy. Yeah, Magnus did nothing wrong. That's right. Yeah. Like, so far, that kind of feels true. But we'll see how later books handle him. And then, what do you think when Cinderman summoned a demon on accident, then Keeler banished it? Oh, yeah, that was fine. Neat. That's exactly how faith works in Warhammer Fantasy as well. The only difference being that it doesn't require faith in the Emperor specifically. It's just faith in a god. But like, you know, wielding divine magic against a demon is super classic. And the way Euphrates Keela wields her faith against the horror, I was like, yeah, okay, that feels very standard Warhammer. That's exactly how it would go down in Warhammer if like a demon manifested and somebody was like a fervent believer in Sigmar or Ulrich or literally any god of Warhammer Fantasy, as long as the god was like relevant, and their faith was like powerful enough, and you know, everything like was in, obviously certain circumstances would all have to align properly, but that felt just like exactly how it would happen in Warhammer Fantasy. So that was cool. I liked it. That was a cool scene. I like the way the horror was described. It was great. Classic horror. Can't go wrong with it. I still have yet to see any evidence that the demons in 40k are quote-unquote more powerful than the ones in fantasy. And the more 40k I read, the more I become convinced that that's just fucking bullshit cope by Space Marine fans. Or 40k fans who don't know how to use critical thinking skills and think that Rick Priestley is the only person that gets to talk about anything ever. Even though Rick Priestley did not work as much on fantasy as he did on 40k. And also the settings have evolved vastly beyond what he originally envisioned for either of them. And he hasn't worked on either of them in quite some time. And he's also not, like, the authority figure. Because there are many other authority figures that disagree with his takes on things. Because so far, the demons in 40k feel almost the exact same as they do in fantasy. There's just significantly less of them at the moment. And also, the people of 40k have no or 30k, I should say, have no fucking idea what they are. And because they have no idea what they are, they have no idea how to deal with them. Which actually makes complete sense. And if you don't know how to deal with them, then they're basically like immortal demigods running at you. But it's like, I know some people that are like, well, the demons are so hard to kill, therefore, the people in fantasy, the demons must be weaker for the people in fantasy to be able to deal with them so efficiently, or so easily. And it's like, have you considered, maybe, if you think for 5 seconds, that maybe the people in fantasy are just significantly more educated on how to deal with demons? Because the demons in fantasy have been around for a fuck-ton longer than the ones in 40k, and have been active, and are far more common than they are in 40k? Like... I want to see Orion Midwife banish a bloodletter with a rolling pin. Honestly, it would be probably way more on brand I don't think Orion would be likely to have a rolling pin, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you'd be more likely to see them wield, like, be beating the shit out of a bloodletter with, like, some, like, sheaths of grain, or menstrual blood, or a hearth, or, like, swaddling, cloth, which would be even more hilarious. Dude, Godzilla, yeah, I am so interested what's gonna happen when I am very curious to get to more parts with the Emperor himself, and for the Emperor to actually hopefully show up and start, like, justifying why he did the things that he did, because so far a staggering amount of his decisions look really bad. Like the wiping out all gods philosophy seems like a pretty shit move when, like, you have Space Marines reading, like, ancient texts where people were using, like, magic and summoning demons, and, like, powers of faith were used against them to good effectiveness. And then the Emperor's like, wow, there's no gods. There's no god. I'm gonna get rid of the one tool, one of the very few tools that humanity had relatively easy access to, because I want to kill all religion to make humanity better, I guess. Except for he's not. God, the Emperor is so weird because, like, so something that I've seen discussed when it comes to the Emperor is people talking about, like, oh, well, the Emperor wanted to get rid of religion because the Emperor had has the like classic punk 80s idea that all organized religion is bad, except for he takes it one step further where he's like, no, all religion is bad. Like, all religion is evil and it makes mankind weak. Like, you know, like hardcore Reddit atheist argument. Like, there's no goodness that can come from it. There's no power that can come from it. Except for he's, like, objectively wrong. Because he's not in our world where, like, I think it could be very accurately argued that, like, gods are not real, and it would be very, very, very difficult for someone to prove that there are gods in any way, shape, or form. But the Emperor is a being that is, like, inherently tied in with the warp, so he knows gods are real. Like, he knows they're out there. And now, granted, like, what we think of as a god versus what he means by the word god is different. And he might argue, like, well, they're not technically gods. They're just, like, etheric beings in the warp, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but for all intents and purposes, like, they are beings from... They are beings from beyond your reality, from a completely separate universe that ties into your universe, who have the power to reshape your reality to their will if given the opportunity to do so. And also, you can do that. Like, you can, like, objectively do godlike things. And the Emperor's like, well, I'm not a god. And it's like, bro, you're arguing semantics, and you're, like, deliberately weakening the arguments of... You're deliberately weakening the defenses of your own species against the great enemy. What are you doing? Like, what is he smoking, man? I just don't get it. And I'm thinking that this is something that will be explained later. hopefully, possibly, perhaps. But I gotta say, 2 books in, I really don't understand the Emperor at all. And the only time he showed up so far is when Horus is like in the warp, and the warp takes him back to when him and his siblings are scattered. And Chaos is like, oh, look, see? Like, we scattered you and your siblings. Also, you weren't born. The Emperor seems to have apparently lied to you about how you were made. Which, like, why, though? Like, why wouldn't he just tell them the truth? Not sure about that one either. So anyway. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. I love when I get just instantly thrown into a fucking mess. So like, so far, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. And that is important, because I have read, there are fantasy books I could point to where I'm like, I genuinely hate this book. Like, I think this book is actual fucking garbage. And I have yet to feel that way about a Horus Heresy book. So, like, if you hear what I'm saying and you're like, oh my god, Sotek fucking hates the Heresy. No, I don't. I don't hate it. But I do think that there are some pretty notable plot holes. Hugh, have a good night, man. He means the Nagash trilogy. I do mean the Nagash trilogy. But even the Nagash trilogy isn't actually the worst book I've ever read. The worst book I've ever read is Burning Shores. Burning Shores makes me genuinely upset. On so many levels. Well, actually, no, the Nagash trilogy is worse than Burning Shores, now that I think about it. Burning Shores at least established the Warhammer Fantasy, like, solar system, which was, like, really, really critical to the overall setting. So, you know what, I'll give it like a little... I'll give it some grace because of that. The Nagash trilogy should be, like, genuinely treated like the ET cartridges, where it's just buried at the bottom of a ditch and, like, never, ever seen again. Yeah, no, you're right. I actually do need to do a book on the... Or I need to do a video on a video series on the Nagash trilogy. I got the Mawtribe's box earlier. Anything you want to know out of the Battle Tome? Yeah, literally everything. But the big thing is I want to know about all the special characters, like what their deal is. I also want to know what's up with the Gulping God. Like, is the Gulping God still just literally Gorka Morka? Or have they made it into a bit more of its own, like, unique entity? I'm also curious if there's any mention of, like, notable subgroups. Or if it's just, like do we still have Beastclaw Raiders and stuff? It is still Gorka Morka. Okay. It's interesting to me how much they're leaning into all of the Great Maw imagery from Warhammer Fantasy, even though it's apparently not the Great Maw, which I find odd. Also, dude, your name is so fucking good. What the... Leonardo Dojinshi? That is the best... That is one of, like, the best Twitch names I have seen in a hot minute. That is so fucking good, dude. Oh my lord, I love that. That's fantastic. Anyway, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Before I leave, how bad was Burning Shore? It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It was the worst book that was ever written about the Lizardmen. And it was particularly devastating because it was the only book that had been written about the Lizardmen for, like, the longest time. So it was just, like, an absolutely metric fuck ton of garbage about my favorite faction, and it made me really upset.
Red met an entity in the realm of death that's a dead god, maybe it's the old Maw.
Red met an entity in the realm of death that's a dead god, maybe it's the old Maw. Who? Remind me who Red is? That doesn't ring a bell for me. Main groups are now Gutbusters, Beastclaw, and Maw Seekers. Okay, what's the deal with the Maw Seekers then? Oh, Red went to go see the Shaish Nadir. Okay, I see. Oh, is he seeing the Nadir as like a realm devourer? Is that what it is? Oh, Red's the new Scrag. Okay. That would be why I didn't recognize him. I gotta say, I don't really appreciate Games Workshop giving us another ogre character whose name has to do with red. Because we already had Jared the Red, which was the very first hunter. And now we've got Red the Butcher, which, like, that's going to genuinely cause confusion for some people. I really wish Games Workshop could be fucking bothered to come up with original names for characters. It's not that hard, but for them it is apparently the hardest thing in the universe, and I find that very frustrating. Because it comes off as really, really lazy. Sorry, that was a random aside. Also, Dolly Forever, thank you for the 17 months of being a member. I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Alright, I think I'm all caught up with, like, chats and stuff. So, thank you once again, everyone, for the support. Anyway, I can get back to talking about OFFKAI stuff. So, for like, my overall trip, I will say, getting to OFFKAI was an absolute fucking nightmare. Absolute nightmare. My plane was supposed to leave at, like, 1 in the afternoon. No, we're supposed to leave at 10 a.m. We're supposed to leave at, like, 10 a.m., and we didn't leave until 1 in the afternoon. We had, like, 3 hours of delay. Because, so we get on the plane, right? We get on the plane, we're all, like, situated, everybody's ready to go. It's pretty warm, because for some reason, all of the planes that American Airlines uses for, like, statewide flights, I guess, all of their planes are, like, absolute garbage, and have non-existent air conditioning. Like, the air conditioning was so fucking trash, I could not believe how bad it was. Maybe I'm spoiled because I'm used to international flights. Like, maybe maybe I'm so used to international planes that I just don't realize how bad, like, local planes are. But, so we're on this plane that has the shittiest air conditioning known to man. And we're waiting for, we're waiting to leave, and everybody's on and everything's set, and we're sitting there, like, waiting, and we're like, are we going? And the pilot comes on. The pilot's like, oh, by the way, guys, we're not going to leave yet. Because we have, there's some kind of, like, issue. Like, the plane system says that ooh, I fucked up. Yeah. The plane says that we're gonna have we have some kind of problem, and we have no idea what it is. So someone's gonna have to come on and like troubleshoot it. And it's like, okay. So we wait for like so we're kept on the tarmac for an hour. For an entire hour in the Texas heat, which it is very, 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 very hot out right now. We are just trapped in the Texas heat, waiting for answers. And the plane is like boiling. Like, it genuinely feels like we are crawdads at a crawfish broil. We're getting like the plane is incredibly hot, and it's only getting hotter minute by minute. And finally, after an hour, they come on and they go, "Oh hey, so the guy came by and looked at the plane, and he has no idea what's wrong with it. We have no idea what's wrong. So we're gonna have to get everybody off the plane, and we're gonna have to get us on a new plane." And we're like, great, awesome. So everybody gets off the plane. We go back to the lobby, and they're like, okay, we have to like figure out what plane we're gonna put y'all on. We don't know if maybe they're gonna try and fix this plane, or if they can't fix this plane. We're also not sure yet if they're gonna like bring a new plane to this gate, or if we're gonna have to send you guys to a gate. And we're like, all right, whatever. So we wait for another 30 minutes, and after 30 minutes, we finally get the okay. Okay, we're moving to another gate, but it's very close by. It's only like a couple gates down. We're like, all right, fine. So we go to the new gate, and at the new gate, they get everybody on the plane. We have the same like flight crew and everything. So we go to the, how do I get the Dragon's Best Friend title? Somebody look that up for me. Somebody Google that. How do I get a Dragon's Best Friend as the title? I want that title so bad. Anyway, so we get on the plane, and they're like, okay, so we're putting all your luggage on right now. Don't worry, like, we haven't lost any luggage. Like, we're gonna put on everybody's luggage. We're gonna get all the stuff we need, and then we're gonna head out. It's like, cool, no problem. So we wait, and they go, oh, by the way, we're also going to get like catering, because, like, you know, food for like the plane. So our bags show up, not a problem. We have all our staff, everything. The plane is fueled, no problem. Everything's looking good. But we don't leave. And then we don't leave. And then we don't leave. And then finally they go, okay, so we don't know where the catering is. And we can't leave until we have the catering. Yeah. So you know what? We're just gonna wait here on the plane until the catering gets here. Yeah. Shouldn't be too long. It takes over an hour. Over an hour for the fucking catering.
Sloppy.
Oh, it was so bad.
I'll tear you limb from limb.
Once again, we were just boiling alive on the tarmac. It got so hot. Everybody's sweating again. And it's just, oh my god, dude. It was just like, what have we done to deserve this?
I have you now.
So yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah. How'd you like this? Yeah!
Is that Edward Kenway? I have no idea, probably. I'm really bad at identifying voice actors.
Ugh! Sloppy.
Some people are good at it, I'm not one of them. I just hear the character.
Yeah! Yeah!
Was the AZ better on the new plane? No! It was just as bad!
Yeah!
Anyway, so finally we got off the ground. Actual catering showed up. And the whole thing was just a mess. But eventually they got us off the ground.
Yeah!
And once we were off the ground,
I'll tear you limb from limb.
we were finally able to
Yeah. Sloppy.
get going. And once we got going, we were fine.
Amigo!
Like, once we were in the air, the plane cooled off pretty quick, without too many issues. And, that was that. But, like, Jesus H. Christ. It was horrible. So, Exile, thank you so much for the gift membership. I really appreciate it. So, we get over there. Everything's fine. But. So, on the way home, right? I get to the San Jose airport. Get on the plane, yada, yada, yada. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. We're up in the air. We get to Dallas. We're ahead of schedule. We've actually arrived like 10, 15 minutes earlier than our plane was supposed to. We make it to the DFW airport. Life's great. We land on the tarmac. And the pilot goes, oh, okay, so we got here a little early. So they're not quite ready for us. So we're just gonna kind of hang out on the tarmac for a minute, but a gate will open and then we're good to go. Sure, no problem. You know, that's fine. Zaraz, thank you so much for the 14 months. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Leonardo, I do see your messages. I will get caught up with those once I finish my little story here. So we're like, okay, no, that's totally fine. So we wait, and sure enough, after like maybe 15 minutes or whatever, the gate opens up. So we pull up to the gate, and it's it's a little bit warmer, but it's not too bad. It's later in the evening, like it was around like 7 p.m. So like it's not cool per se, but it's also not like boiling. So anyway, we pull up and everybody starts getting up and getting ready, and we wait. And we wait, and we're like, what's going on? The pilot comes on, and he says, oh, there's ads? Okay, I will wait till ads are over to finish my story. Hold on, I'll wait till ads are over. I really need to get... So I'll wait. That way nobody misses out on the story. Because that's not fun. And we're just doing dungeon anyway. Do I like Avatar? The Last Airbender? Yeah. It's not my favorite show in the world, but I like it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh, is the new movie out? Like, I know it leaked ages ago, but like, is it out like legitimately? Not having my AoE makes me so sad. It is out? Oh, okay, I need to make time to watch that. Okay, ads are over in 30 seconds, so I'll resume my story then. Super glue accelerate causes an ectothermic reaction that burns if it's on your skin. Don't ask how I know. Dude, Stotling, I have burned the shit out of myself using super glue accelerant when I was younger. Because remember, I played Warhammer Fantasy growing up. So you better believe that I went through that, especially back when a lot of the GW minis were metal. I loved using glue accelerant to try and put them together faster. Not always being as careful as I should have. One of my friends got his hand really fucked up by that once. Because we were messing around with the glue bottle. And it was like a really fancy glue that's supposed to like it had like a quick dry system once it was out of like the bottle or whatever. And it was like stoppered up, like the glue had like dried a little bit. So because of that, it, you know, had a slight issue, and instead of doing the normal thing, like cutting it open, he just like squeezed it and kept putting more pressure, and then it exploded. Just all over his hand, and it like crystallized his entire hand. It was so bad. Anyway, what was I talking about? All right, I was gonna finish my story because I was waiting for ads to finish for people that were stuck in ads. So we're sitting on the plane, waiting to get off, and we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. And we're like, what the fuck's the holdup? And finally, the pilot comes on, and he goes, ladies and gentlemen, we appear unable to, or there is a technical problem with the plane, and we are unable to disembark. We ask for your patience at this time while we try to figure out why we can't. Because, like, it was like we pulled up to it and we couldn't, like, it was like the plane door either wasn't connecting to the thingamajigger you walk out on to get into the airport, or it was like the door was just shut. And they were like, oh, it shouldn't take us long, there's just a little problem. And I realized at that moment, at that exact moment, was when I realized that there were several other people on that plane who had also gone to OFFKAI and had been on the exact same plane that I had taken from DFW to San Jose, were now on the same plane with me from San Jose to DFW. Because every single one of us that had been on the first plane all went, oh God, not again! Like, everyone was just like, ah! And that's when we were all like, oh hey, it's you again. We realized we were not alone in our suffering. So, guess how long it took of us sitting on the tarmac in Texas heat for them to open the fucking door? Does anyone want to guess?
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Yeah, dude, flying American Airlines, apparently garbage right now. Absolute garbage. $30 minutes? I wish. Oh, that would have been so nice if it had only been 30 minutes. 50? I mean, you're closer. 3 hours? No, it was not that long. Hour and a half? Nope. It took 1 hour. It took one whole additional hour to get off that goddamn plane. So even though we arrived like 15, 20 minutes early, we were actually like an hour and I think we were like an hour and it was like an hour and 10 minutes late. Just open the emergency exit. I wanted to. I wasn't in the emergency exit row, and I also didn't want to get like blacklisted from future flights. But like, goddamn, dude, I was like, can we just walk across the tarmac, please? It was so bad, dude. So anyway, yeah, so the flights, once we were in the air, or like everything to do with the San Jose airport went flawlessly and perfect. Everything to do with the Dallas-Fort Worth airport made me want to kill myself. Just garbage in, garbage out. It doesn't help that, like, there's a bunch of construction going on at DFW right now because they're, like, renovating one of the major parts of the airport. So, like, but, like, there's no excuse for the planes to be that shitty. Oh, it was terrible. But as for the actual trip itself, I will say, OFFKAI was absolutely fucking incredible. I got there on Thursday of last week, and fortunately, despite the fact that I was trapped in Hellplane, you know, I was stuck on a Chaos Dwarf designed vehicle apparently. Despite all of that, I actually met a friend who I had met last year at OFFKAI, who was on the exact same flight that I was, which was like a very happy coincidence. I was like, oh my god, it's such and such. So we were like, had a really nice time, like chatting and catching up and stuff. We shared an Uber to the hotel. And on Thursday was pretty good. I went out and met with some friends. Went to go get my badge. Which the badge for the convention, instead of doing it in the convention hall this year, they did it at what was known as South Hall, which was like a building that was... Oh wait, I got too close, I'm stupid. It was very warm in San Jose this year. I was not a huge fan. So last year the con was in June. So we had a June con and it was amazing. Like I had a absolutely wonderful time. The weather was perfect. And then this year they were like, "Oh hey, let's do it in July instead." And it was too hot, in my opinion. It was too hot. Like, it wasn't unbearable. Like, it was very, very nice in the morning and at evening. But during the day, like, the sun was pretty oppressive. And there wasn't a lot of shade. Because there was very, very, very little, like, cloud cover. It was just like... Or there was actually no cloud cover. It was just, like, sun. But I got to meet a lot of my friends in the badge line. So that's, like, where I caught up with Inari... and I met Tyru, which I ended up absolutely adoring him. He was so fun to chat with. But we had, you know, so I got some good catching up done, and got my badge without too much issue. everything went really well. And then after that, we just kind of went outside the convention center. I gave Inari her mini, so I was really excited to do that because I told y'all I worked really hard on that. How high the temps get? It was not that hot. It was the sun was just warm. It was just kind of relentlessly warm. I wouldn't say it was like boiling by any stretch of the imagination. I have definitely had worse. I think it was like in the mid 80s. But there wasn't often much, if any, breeze, and the sunlight was just unrelenting. Hey, Scrappy Bristol, thank you for the 6 months.
Welcome back, Sotek. How was space?
I didn't go to space. I went to OFFKAI, but it was wonderful. Actually, you know what? We should probably just do Astrologian quests tonight. I was gonna do Eureka, but like we might as well finish Astrology and just get it over with. I thought I'd already gotten it over with, but apparently not. But that'll actually be a good use of tonight's time. We'll do Eureka next time. I'll just change the title afterwards. It's wild they moved the con around date so much. Well, okay, so once you actually like meet the people running the con, it's not wild at all. Because you find out that they basically have zero control over it. The San Jose is a really popular destination for conventions, which is why on Thursday, this was super fun, went to the con and found out that at the exact same time we were having OFFKAI, there was a fucking there was a CrossFit convention. So there was a CrossFit con happening the exact same time. So some of the space that we used last year for the con, this year was given over to the CrossFit guys, which is why we had to have like a whole additional separate building, which was so fucking funny. And my hotel in particular had a lot of CrossFit people in it. But it was super funny going to the con and there being like tons of people in like weave outfits or like furry costumes or cosplay, or like they're all like super dressed up. And then there's people in like athletic gear and like workout, all the women in like workout tights and like these burly dudes and like wife beaters and stuff. It was so fucking funny. And for the CrossFit people, like, and they were fine. There was no issues. Like literally the only interaction I'm aware of that happened of interest was that the CrossFit guys had the CrossFit convention had a pull-up competition. So they had like this contest on one of the days where they basically welcomed all comers, and the goal was to see like who could do the most pull-ups. And there was a VTuber, or I don't know if he was a VTuber or a VTuber fan, but there was someone that was there for OFFKAI who basically like went over to the CrossFit convention and just took off his badge and everything and just pretended to be one of the CrossFit dudes, and he won. So he just went over there and was like, "Rah!" It was very funny. It was great. And then so after I got my badge, sat outside the badge area, chatted with tons of people, got to see a lot of my friends, do some catch-ups, saw some funny shit. There's like a trading card game that they do at OFFKAI, where like some of the like big VTubers that are kind of associated with the con will have cards that are exclusive for that year. I don't know if it's for the year, but it's for like OFFKAI. It might be exclusive for the year. Oh yeah, that's true. If you gift 3 subs on Twitch while watching me play Final Fantasy 14, you could get a unicorn mount. I need to go to somebody else's Final Fantasy 14 stream, make sure I do that. But if anybody wants a free unicorn mount, well, it's not free, I guess, but if you want a unicorn mount, you can get it by giving me some subs. The Redeem website is down for maintenance at the moment. RIP. Anyway, so met lots of folks, and then after that we went back to visit some people's hotel rooms. I gave Inari her mini, which I think she really loved. Poor girl, she doesn't get back to Japan for a while because she went from OFFKAI straight to FanFest for Final Fantasy 14. So like, she left on Monday morning, like early Monday morning, to go to FanFest, which is taking place like right now. And then after FanFest, she goes back to Japan. And then I think she said she's home for like 3 days, and then she has to go do other stuff. Which, like, Jesus Christ, that's so much to do. Anywho. So after that, that's when I got to meet Koizumi Kaito, because Koizumi Kaito, who was in chat earlier, actually, Moth, can we get another shout out? Actually, here, I'll do the shout out, because I bet y'all can't spell his name, but I can. I'll give him another shout out just because I'm talking about him. Koizumi Kaito. So he basically, some of the folks are going out to dinner, and I was invited, and we went out to a restaurant called, I think it was Hungry Cow, but it was Korean barbecue, and it was delicious. But it was, holy fuck, it was expensive. But it was so good. But that is easily the most expensive Korean barbecue I've ever had in my life. Because it's California, and everything in California is more expensive. And Korean barbecue is, like, already expensive, but California prices, like, Jesus Christ. That was easily the most money I spent on food the entire convention. Like, by far, that was the most money I spent on a single meal. But it was delicious. It was absolutely delicious. And then basically after that, after that, I then went back to the con, because the con technically didn't start till Friday. So I went back, and I went out to the Nocturne Festival, which the downside was I cared more about going out to eat and enjoying spending time with my friends than I did going to, like, panels or events. So I didn't get to Nocturne until pretty late. Originally my plan was to go to the entire Nocturne Festival because there were some streamers that were going to be, or some VTubers that were going to be singing that I really wanted to see sing. So Hiragi Yu, which some of y'all might know Hiragi Yu because we tend to raid them. We used to raid them every Sunday after Lorebeards. But then, like, Lorebeards got more complicated and is now on its own channel, so that stopped kind of being as consistent of an option. I really wanted to see Hiragi sing, but unfortunately I missed them. I think Aqua may have sung as well, who's also a VTuber that I'm very fond of. Yeah, Hawk, when the shout-out timer resets, would you give a shout-out for Hiragi Yu and Aqua as well? And if you need me to, like, give you their stuff, I can. Anywho, So, I did go to the Nocturne Festival, and I caught, like, the last bits of it. It was okay. The Nocturne Festival, you could definitely tell that it was the first time they had ever done it. And it was at this place called the Guild House, which is like a gaming bar. But like for like, it's like a casual hangout bar that has like board games and stuff. And from what I could tell, it seemed like normally it was super duper duper nice, but for fucking OFFKAI, there were so many people there talking that it was like they turned the like speakers up to absolute maximum in order to like so you could hear the music, but the speakers were not that great. Or I think it was the guild house itself wasn't really well designed for sound. So like the sound, it was basically impossible to hear what anybody was saying that was talking like on the microphones or anything. And it was also like borderline, the music was like insanely loud, so it was really difficult to hear what like anybody else was saying. And then in addition to all that, apparently the scheduling was just a total clusterfuck. Like there was a bunch of, it was supposed to kind of be, to my understanding, it was supposed to kind of be like you'd hear live music and then they'd play someone that like sent in like a video of themselves singing. So you'd have like someone recorded, someone live, someone recorded, someone live. It was just a mess. Where like tons of people that were supposed to go on, like something happened, so they didn't get to go on when they were supposed to. And like the quality was really bad. It was not good. To be like, it wasn't a horrible time by any means. I wouldn't be against doing it next year, but like, holy mother of fuck, did they really need to get their shit together? Like they definitely were not. They didn't have the setup they needed for it. And then after that, I went to bed. And it was a very nice first day. Do I ever play Return of Reckoning? Yes, I haven't played it in quite some time, but I do have a rank 40 renown rank, like 70 something, I think. Ironbreaker. So not a fully max level character, but a close to max level character. I haven't played in a long time. But I have it on this PC and I have played it a bit. Hey, Fokado, good to see you. Are you back home, I assume? I also got to meet Fokado, so that was super cool. Very nice chap. Met Fokado, hung out with him a decent bit. Sorry I didn't get to say bye. The last day ended up being like a lot more chaotic than I hoped it would be. The last day was kind of a clusterfuck. It wasn't bad by any means, but like I got up later than I wanted to, by a lot. So anyway, that was Thursday. So that was before the con even technically started. Thursday was like was like my third favorite day. Yeah. Then I went out on Friday, I got up way too early because I was excited. I was super excited, and I had gone to bed at a reasonable hour. So on Friday, I got up at like 6 a.m. so that I could do my mohawk. So I had my hair all up, Like, I had my beard all super nice. Like, I thought I looked pretty good. I got on my Full Metal Alchemist vest, which I don't think I've shown on stream before. But I was all done up. And I went to go get breakfast, and I went to this place called Whispers Cafe. Whispers was fucking awesome. I was a little bit... I did a good job this con of... I never went to the same restaurant twice, because I wanted to try a couple of different places. So I went to Whispers for the first time, and I think if I go next year, which I fully intend on going, the next year that I go, I will like in April, I will go to Whispers every day for breakfast, because their breakfast is fucking amazing. You went back, everybody? Yeah. So anyway, so went to Whispers with a buddy of mine, and after that, I went to the con, and I realized that I was fucking stupid, because there is no point on Friday and Saturday, unless you are specifically meeting with someone. There is no reason on earth to get to the con before 11 a.m. There's no reason. Unless you are going to an early panel, or you're meeting with friends, do not go to the con before 11 a.m. on Friday and Saturday, because there is nothing to do, and everyone is basically just sitting around in lines for Artist Alley, which is the dumbest thing in the universe. I don't understand why people do that. There is no reason for there to be lines for Artist Alley. It is the dumbest shit imaginable, because Artist Alley is so goddamn big that they can literally fit everyone coming to the con in at the same time without any issues. And nothing... I do not know of anything that sells out so fast that you need to be there the second it opens. I have never heard of someone going on the first day and, like, they were like, oh, I wasn't there when Artist Alley opened at 10, or 10 or 11, actually, I think. And I missed out on a thing. Like, I've never heard that. It is, like, I have always just waited until the line is fully in. Because it's, like, the line is so stupid. It wraps around the whole building, and then it goes outside the building and wraps around the outside of the building. And, oh my god, it is crazy to see every time. And it's like, guys, we don't need to do this here. But anyway, I went to a panel. I went to the Shield Yourself panel, which, funny enough, ended up being the only panel I was able to make the entire con. I wanted to go to, like, I think 15 to 20 panels, and I made it to one, so, you know, that was good. But the Show Yourself panel was really, really nice. It wasn't about what I thought it was going to be about. I thought the Show Yourself panel, which, okay, this is actually a very funny thing. And this shows how the VTuber community and me as, like, a more standard content creator and YouTuber and Twitch streamer and all that, how we are not necessarily on the same wavelength at times. Because I thought that the Shield Yourself panel was gonna be about, like, okay, how do you, like, advertise yourself to sponsors? Like, how do you get sponsorships, and how do you make money doing streaming? Like, what's the best way to attract a sponsor? What are like the rates you should ask for? All that stuff. That's what I thought it was going to be about, because it was called Shill Yourself, and to shill yourself to me means, like, oh, you're, like, making money, because that's what being a shill is, apparently, is, like, just trying to make a fucking living. So I go to this panel, and the I can't remember her name, but the very, very lovely woman was hosting the panel. And it turns out that Shill Yourself is an acronym in the VTubing community, or at least part of the VTubing community. And shill yourself to them means it is a combination of kill yourself and shit yourself. So it means, so it's like a form of panicking, like being so stressed out that you shit and kill yourself at the same time. And I was like, okay. Like, all right, this is happening, I guess. So already I realized I was not where I thought I was, which was very funny to me. So what it actually ended up being about was the panel was actually about how to promote yourself to conventions so that you can host panels. So it was like, how do you approach the people that are in charge of conventions and like get them to want to utilize you in their convention, whether you're hosting a panel or they invite you to do a concert or whatever. It was very interesting. It included a lot of information that I would say like 90% of it was stuff that I already knew. But I've also been doing this for a super duper duper long time. And I've also like worked with actual like big boy companies. And I have just been in the game longer than most people have by like several factors. So anyway, but it did give me some really good ideas about how to do it myself. Like some of the ideas she was talking about, she's like, if you do X, Y, or Z, like that could actually be really, really helpful for anyone that wants to do a panel. And I was like, oh, like that's a pretty easy bar for me to clear. I don't mean that in like an arrogant way. I just mean that in like I always thought you had to be someone of like a certain size or caliber or notoriety to host a panel. And they were basically like, yeah, no. You know, you just need to be like passionate about a subject and know how to pitch it. And I was like, oh shit, I could do a panel. So I will say when they open up panel registration for this upcoming year, I'm gonna apply to host a panel. Because I think I have some ideas that would do really, really well. Anyway, so did that. That was fun. And after that, what did I do on Thursday or Friday after that? After that, I went and chatted with some friends, and then we went out to lunch. And on Friday, we had some chats about where to go eat.
Tell me, for whom do you fight?
And we went to, where did I go on Friday?
Do you believe in Eorzea?
Oh, I remember now. So I basically, I was like, hey, does anyone want to get lunch? Does anyone want to get food? So yada 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 yada. I got a surprisingly large group of people that wanted to go to lunch, and I was like, okay, we're going to lunch. I know of a place. We're gonna go. There's a place I want to try that's called chicken something. And we're gonna go there that I've never been. And they were like, okay, cool. So we walk over there, and like I said, last year walking to where we walked to would not have been bad. It was like a 10-minute walk, or like a 10 to 15 minute walk, which to me, in city walking, is like nothing. Like, if it's less than 30 minutes, I consider that walkable. I did not really properly consider, and this is my fault, I did not properly consider how much hotter it was than the year before, because it was hot. Like, I think the actual air temperature was probably only 80 something. Like, it was probably like 85, maybe. But the sun was just beating down. And I think the perceived heat was more like 90. Like, it was unpleasant. And so we're walking, and one of the guys with us, poor Hakia. So Hakia's wearing like a full maid outfit over his clothes, and oh man, he was overheating so bad. Once we were like halfway there, I was like, oh okay, this kid's like about to have heat stroke. So we get to the restaurant, and calling it a restaurant is wrong. It's not a restaurant. It's like a hole in the wall that offers food. Like, it's like a little family-owned joint. So we go in there. And one thing I noticed about San Jose is that the vast majority of the buildings in downtown San Jose are old. They're like old, like kind of brick and mortar type buildings, and they have shitty air conditioning. Like the most embarrassing excuse for air conditioning you will have ever seen in your life. And like, I guess I'm just spoiled. Where I live, like in DFW, everyone has good air conditioning. Like, if you don't have good air conditioning, you will die. So, like, nobody fucks around with that. And the vast majority of buildings have really high quality AC. And these guys just didn't. Like, it was cooler outside than it was inside. Despite the fact that it was hot outside. So poor Hakia is like melting alive. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna. And so I was like, oh, y'all, like, what's the biggest drink y'all sell that's cold? And they were like, oh, we have beers. And I was like, okay. And like the beers were refrigerated, but they weren't like super cold. And I was like, ooh, okay, but like, I'll get a soda because I'm a soda addict and I can't help myself. And they were like, oh, okay, here's your soda. And I realized the sodas were like fucking freezing. And I was like, okay, give me like 2 of those. I just had to go over to Hakia, and I was like, you wear this now. Like, you're going to put this Coke on your neck, and you're just going to keep it there for a while you sit in the shade, and we'll get you some food, and you just cool off. So we did that whole thing. Got him taken care of. Luckily, he was okay, and we got him cooled off. So once Hakia was good, we ate lunch. It was pretty good. I don't think I'll go back there next year, just because like, the food was good, but I wasn't... It was good, but it wasn't great. And I found some places that were great. So it was like, I think we could do better. With like our time and the caliber of the quality of the food. So I don't think I'll go back there next year. I think I will remove that off my list of places. It wasn't bad, but I wasn't that impressed. So anyway, we went and did that. After that, I ended up leaving early. Because I wanted to go... Where did I want to go so bad? I ended up leaving lunch early because I was working... Hiragi Yu, of course. Hiragi Yu was doing a meet and greet. And I was like, holy shit, I'm going to get to meet Hiragi Yu. Which... I am deeply fond of Hiragi. Definitely a fan. I don't think I would say we're... I don't think I'd say we're friends. I don't know if I will ever reach that status with them. But I could say, I think with a decent amount of confidence, that I am not at that status right now, by any stretch of the imagination. Which, I mean, that's always like such kind of a weird... That's always kind of like a weird tightrope to walk when you go to something like this event. Because, once again, I'm not a VTuber. I'm very adjacent to a lot of VTubers. I know a lot of VTubers. I'm friends with a lot of VTubers. But I am not one. And I think even if you are one, I imagine it still feels like this. But once again, I don't know. Of that, like, there are a lot of people I want to be friends with, but either I haven't passed the vibe check, or we don't share enough in common, or I don't know what it is. But there are some people where it's like, I've known them for a while, but we've just never quite, you know, hit that level. But anyway, so I went to the meet and greet, and I did get to meet Hiragi, which was wonderful. They are so suave. They are so gorgeous. They are just one of the most handsome people you will ever meet, ever. And like, just so stylish. Oh my god. And what a voice. What a voice! So, met Hiragi. And it was wonderful. And to be fair, Hiragi fucked me up. Hiragi fucked me up bad. Because I was like... I was so ready. Like, I was psyching myself up. Because, like, even now, like, I technically know famous people. I mean, Andy Law... Y'all know Andy, like, my co-owner and co-host, like, one of my dearest friends. I adore Andy. He's one of my best friends in the world. Love him to death. Andy is, like, technically a super duper 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 famous person. Like, he is. And a lot of the people that I'm friends with are. And I'm so... But I'm still, even then... When I meet people for the first time, it's, like, terrifying. And I don't think that'll ever change. If I meet someone that I perceive as, like, I'm just, like, deeply... I deeply admire them, then I am always terrified when I meet them for the first time. Because I'm just scared that I'm gonna, like, come off as, like, a weirdo. Or, like, they're gonna be like, oh, look at this, like, creepy, disgusting dude. Or, I don't know what I think. It's like, it's not like a rational thought. It's just, like, some kind of deeper fear that just lives inside of my body. That I can't help but think. And I will probably... It's probably just one of those things I will have to wrestle with for the rest of my life. I don't think that's ever gonna change. But anyway, so I met Hiragi, and I was so ready to, like, I had like a whole speech getting ready in my head about how I was gonna tell them like how much I admire them and how much like I adore them, and they've inspired me so much because like they're such a powerful like creator and storyteller, and there's just so much cool shit that they do, and they're just like, of all of the creators I've ever met, they're just like at the absolute peak of just some of the most inspired, artistically gifted, and I don't just mean like doing art, I mean just in every way imaginable, of like ideas of how to entertain and how to talk to people and connect with people. Like their skill at singing, their skill at drawing, their skill at just being fucking hilarious. Like they're so funny, and their people skills are just immaculate, and it's insane to me. So like I've got all this stuff ready, and I walk up to Hiragi, and they have the goddamn audacity. They have the fucking audacity to like, I get a few words out, and then Hiragi just starts saying all these super sweet, kind things to me about like the stuff that I do, and just all of these like super kind, sweet words, and I was so deeply caught off guard by what they were saying that my brain just like stopped working. Like it just shut my brain off. Like I was struggling so much to say anything, and the only thing that I did manage to get out was that I was wearing, so I had my badge on, right? Which, oh, I actually, now that I think about it, I need to take a picture of my badge and post it online. So I need to, I need to post it online. But, one of my very, very good friends, Almantis VT, which if we could get a shout out for Almantis. Almantis is like one of the coolest fucking people you will ever meet on the earth. He's very, very intelligent, very well spoken, very gifted human being. That actually reminds me a lot of a friend of mine, which just makes my friendship with him all the more special, because he's just amazing and he reminds me of someone I love so dearly. So Almantis is like literally like a professional calligrapher, and he was just writing everyone's names on like these stickers you could stick on your name tag in like this really awesome badass calligraphy style. And I was wearing my Almantis sticker on my name tag, and Hiragi saw it, and they were like, "Oh my gosh! Like, is that like this is how I remember it going down. It might not actually have gone down this way, and I'm just forgetting." But I was like, "Oh shit! That's." They were like, "Oh, like Almantis." I was like, "Oh yeah, like I know Almantis. Almantis is like one of my dearest friends here at the con. Like, I adore him." I was like, "Have you met him?" And Hiragi was like, "No, I haven't met him." And I was like, "I will go get him. Like, I know where he is, because he just sits in one place at the con. Well, not always, but most of the con. Actually, this year, he didn't even really do that, because he knows so many fucking people. But it was like, I know where he's likely to be. So I was like, I'll go get him, and I'll bring him back, so that he can do your... Because I'm sure he would love to meet you. Because me and him had spoken about Hiragi earlier that day. Before I had, like, wandered off to go to the meet and greet. And they were, Hiragi was like, "Oh my gosh, like, I would love that." And I was like, "I will make this happen. Like, I will make this happen." So I ran off, and I found him exactly where I thought he would be, which turned out well. And I took him immediately to Hiragi's meet and greet, which was, by that point, actually really crowded. and we jumped in line, and luckily we were able to get in line before they closed it. And I got to facilitate the two of them meeting. And they were, they got along so well that it was almost frightening. Like, if anything, I would say I was a little envious at how well they got along. I don't think Almantis gets nervous. Like, I don't know if he just doesn't have the capacity to get nervous. Which, if he doesn't, that would actually make sense, because that would make him even more like the friend of mine that he reminds me of. But I don't think he gets nervous. So I was watching the two of them. So I waited to make. I waited with him in line, so he just wasn't like he wasn't just sitting there not doing anything. So I waited with him in line for a little bit, and once they were about to meet, I left because I didn't want to be weird. And I feel like it would have been weird for me to stick around and be like, like, you know, I wanted to let them have their privacy to have like a good conversation. Hawk, also, when we do the shoutouts, can we make sure to do both versions, just because the other version is technically better? They both have their own advantages. So, the slash shoutout as well. Now that I think about it. So anyway, so they hit it off great, and to my understanding, they ended up even hanging out later at the con, because they were having such a good time, and I am very, 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 very pleased I got to make that happen. That was a big highlight for me personally, to take two people, or to get two people that I admire very deeply the opportunity to hang out in a way that turned out to be very special. So did that, and then after that I went. What did I do after Haragi's meet and greet? Did I go to Oshi Bar after that? Or did I go to dinner? I don't remember, to be honest. I want to say that I went to Oshi Bar after that with a number of folks. Because Oshi Bar is an event that they... so it's an event that OFFKAI puts on where there's basically a bar that everyone at the bar goes to listen to live singing performances. Well, all the performances are live, but some of them are VTubers on a computer screen, and some of them are like actually there in person. So, and it's like, it's a ticketed event, and it's I think it's 21 and up only instead of 18 and up only, I think. It might be 18 and up, but if you're 21 and up, you can obviously drink. I don't remember. But went to Oshi Bar. It was okay. It was all right. The venue wasn't like horrifically crowded, and they had like an outdoor patio area. It was very loud. It was like so loud that I was like, oh, cool, I'm gonna have ear damage. That's cool. But I got to meet some really cool people. Unfortunately, some like stuff happened with the group I was with. I'm not gonna like do the details. All I'll say is that like the people I was with, a thing happened that like required a lot of them to like leave to deal with an emergency, and I had no fucking idea what was going on. So as far as I could tell, And I think it's just because they didn't want to, like, they didn't want to bother me, with, like, what was going on. They just, like, they were like, oh, just, you know, just let them enjoy the thing. But, like, so many people ended up leaving that I was like, where'd everybody go? I'm like with, like, 2 people left. And there was way more than 2 of us at the start of this. But, so that was a whole thing. But, as for the event itself, it was okay. It was not, terrible by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think I will ever do it again. Mostly because it really felt like one of those events where if you are not drinking and you are not a VIP, then you're just kind of hanging around in like a super loud room where you can't fucking hear anything. Like at all. Like you're shouting to try and hear what someone's saying, and my hearing already isn't like the best. I do have some hearing damage from all of my years as a musician, because, you know, I sat in front of the what good lord is this? Oh, I will. I'll check that in a minute. Or I'll check that later. Anyway, like, it's just so loud. I don't have the best hearing as is, and it made my hearing go from, like, not great to shattered. Why are we... Okay. Anywho, so, but it was fine. I didn't stay the entire time, but, I stayed for, I think, 4 different performances. I got to see OP Katy Cat, who, I will say, absolutely killed it. Like, she slaps. I don't really care for her genre of music. Because she is she's like a hardcore metal singer. So it's that, like, really guttural, loud growling. That, like, really loud, guttural growling type of, like, just screaming, type of singing. And it's very impressive. And she's very loud. But, like, I ain't about that. Because I cannot understand a single fucking thing that's being said, and it just sounds like gibberish to me. Screamed gibberish. Oh, I'm in deep trouble. I'm gonna die. Okay. But it was very impressive. Like, I'm not gonna say it wasn't like, I wasn't like, god damn. And she also did a song with her partner, I believe. So that was very, very cute. She sang a song with her partner, and the 2 of them singing together was very fun. And then, there were also a couple other performers, but my brain is really struggling to remember any of their names. There was even one girl, I think her name was like Toma, and she was like a tomato VTuber or something like that. But there was this one girl who came up and sang, and she had a really, really good voice. She was very cute. Apparently she sings like, she's like very into like idol singing, so like Japanese idol type singing. And Anyway, so, she performed. It was very cute, and I was actually very surprised that, like, most VTubers, especially women, the vast majority of VTubers wear masks. So they'll wear, like, a face mask at minimum, and some of them will even wear, like, extra stuff on top of that. It's to hide their identities, mainly. Like, it also helps protect them from getting con crud, which is just nasty viruses that you can easily pick up at cons, because inevitably someone will be sick. But it's mostly to protect their identities, which is why I was really, really shocked when, like, on her third song, she just, like, took it off and did this whole performance with her face revealed, which I was like, oh my god, they're allowed to do that? So she was super cool. And then someone went after her, but by that point, I had heard from Vera, Vera, as in Lorebeard's Vera, and Vera invited me out to round 1. So I went out to go party at round 1, which was so much fun. Like, round 1 itself, I couldn't give less fucks about. I think round 1 is, like, super overrated. It's like the closest thing here in the West that we have to, like, a Japanese arcade, I guess. But I personally don't really like round 1 that much. I think it's super overpriced, and I don't fuck with it. Like, it's really overpriced, and most people want to go there for, like, karaoke, but, like, when you have so many people that all want to sing karaoke, nobody gets to sing karaoke because, like, the wait is, like, at minimum an hour, and it's just a complete clusterfuck, and it's really, really loud. It's really, really loud, and it was hot. Oh my god. Like, normally I like round 1 where I live, because our round 1 was built in a space that was designed for, like, hockey games, like ice hockey. So it's designed to be a place that's really, really good at keeping out heat and maintaining coolness. The San Jose round 1, I'm gonna say it, it is trashy, in my opinion. Like, it is a trashy round 1. Like, it just felt dirty and, like, poorly maintained. I was really unimpressed with it. I was not a fan. But I had a stupid good time. I had such a good time. It's not even funny, because the people that were there were, some of them were old friends, but there were also some people there who I've known for quite some time, but I have never had the chance to meet in person, and I had no idea they were there. And getting to meet some folks that I don't know if I would... I don't think I would be arrogant enough to call them friends. Because, like, I haven't spent that much time with them in the grand scheme of things, but also, like, admittedly, I have no fucking idea what some people consider friend and some people consider associate, or some people consider, like, this or that or whatever. I have no earthly idea how people feel about it, because it's subjective at the end of the day, which is super weird to think for me. Well, I mentioned that's weird for almost anyone. to be honest. But it is an odd thought. So anyway, but beyond that, I also, so I got to meet some people that I never thought I was going to get to meet, to be honest. And getting to finally meet them in person and have the chance to chat with them and just talk about life and have a good time was everything to me. Friday, for me, Friday was the best day of the entire convention. Well, that's hard, actually. I think it, in total, it was the best day. Sunday was really, really close. Oh no, Parth, you're totally fine. I'm mostly just talking about OFFKAI. So you are totally fine. But hey, look, Astrologian just hit 70. Woohoo! Hooray! So we got something done. I was going to play Eureka tonight, but I thought I had already hit 70 on Astrologian. Turns out I hadn't. So we're doing that tonight instead. So it's okay. It worked out. It worked out. I'm probably not going to do the quest line tonight. I'll save that for another day, because I do need to go to bed here in a little bit. I'm probably not even going to finish talking through OFFKAI, to be honest. Because I'm realizing now, actually, you know what? I think, it feels a little sudden, and I apologize for that. I think that's actually a good place for us to stop. The only thing I'm going to do extra real fast is, I want to go to, the Doman Enclave to do my, like, weekly turn-in. Excuse me. I want to get to bed at a reasonable hour so that I can be up in the morning. Because we need to, we've got so much shit to do, guys. Oh no, do I have a cutscene? Fuck. I cannot thank you enough, Dakaris. I simply cannot. I am pleased to announce that at long last our plans for the 10,000 stalls are complete. Every tenant is open for business, and the food is the talk of the Enclave. You really must go and see. Mitsuba is expecting you. Okay, I guess I'm not doing the Doman Enclave right now, because she's not going to let me donate until I do that. So, never mind. Haha, turns out we're going to Gold Saucer to turn in our tickets. And then that'll be the end of today's stream. Because I want to be up in the morning to play Elden Ring. Because we've gotta maintain, we gotta re-pick up and maintain momentum on that game. So that we can finish it in a timely fashion. Because God knows, before next OFFKAI, I'm gonna want to do another Donathon, which means I need to finish the rewards from the first one. And I can finish telling OFFKAI stories tomorrow as well. Yeah, overall, it was a very, very good trip. I'm so happy I got to meet all the people I got to meet. It was a magical journey. I don't have time to, like, Sunday is actually really easy to summarize. Of that, Sunday was debatably the best day I had, but it had nothing to do with the convention. It almost entirely had to do, well, no, that's not entirely true. 9, 12, not great. I got 12 anyway. I got to go to a house party that was hosted by Meeks and Almantis, and that was a wonderful, 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 wonderful evening. That alone made that probably the best day. I wish my only regret my only regret about OFFKAI, which I don't think anything could have changed this, My only regret about OFFKAI was that I wasn't able to go to a house party like that to just like chill and hang out every day. That was my like only regret, which I don't think there's anything I could have done to alter that, because that involves people inviting you to things. And I was only invited to so much. But I was invited to more than last year. So you know what? We made progress, and we're going to be proud of that progress. Yeah? Yeah? So, yeah. Because the trickiest thing, in a lot of ways, the trickiest thing, especially when it comes to the VTuber community, is you gotta prove that you're trustworthy, and you gotta vibe. You gotta vibe with the right people, and you gotta prove that you can be trusted, and that takes time. And that takes time. So, but overall, I would say it was worth every penny. I do think that I fucked up big time by not securing my hotel significantly earlier. I am not hesitant at all to say that I fucked up grossly and ended up spending probably twice as much on my hotel as I needed to. Considering I literally just booked my hotel for April, because I found out that there are certain hotels that if you book with them early enough, they don't... Well, if you do it a certain way, you could book, but they don't charge you until you get there. So I have booked with a hotel for next OFFKAI, but I am not really intending on staying there. But because it's so far in advance, it is literally half what I paid for this year. I could like, and that's like heartbreaking to me that I wasted so much money due to my own stupidity. But my goal is to try and get an Airbnb. I really want to try and get an Airbnb for next OFFKAI, because I would love to host a party, and I want to cook. I want to cook food, and I want to make food for people. I want to make like queso, and I want to like throw together some different dishes that I love. And to do that, I need a kitchen. So anyway, but that, my dudes, brings us to the end of this stream. I'm sorry it was so short. Today I did some unpacking. I also took a big nap with my dog, because Sadie missed me a lot and I missed her a lot. And it was really nice to get to just sleep next to her for a while. But I appreciate you all coming to hang out with me very much. The goal is to be up in the morning for Elden Ring at a pretty decent hour. I'm gonna go ahead and schedule the stream before I go to bed. I think we'll aim for like 9 a.m. ish. I also am intending to buy another set of headphones. It might be a little bit before I do it, just because I do need to be careful with money for at least a little bit. But I am intending to get a different pair of headphones so that I can just have my mohawk pretty much at all times. Because I got a lot of compliments on my clothing and hairstyle at the con. And that was really weird for me. I am deeply unused to people complimenting my physical appearance. And I think that's because I've always sort of leaned into just comfortable white man syndrome. Like wearing comfy clothes and being super white. Show off FMA vest tomorrow? Nah, dude, it reeks. And I need to wash it. Once I have washed it, then we'll talk. Yeah, more stuff soon. I really appreciate you all coming to hang out with me. And I also want to say I really appreciate all of your support. I really appreciate y'all support, because without y'all, I couldn't have gone. Without y'all and your support, and you know, hanging out with me and subbing and all that other shit and showing up to streams and liking them and all that stupid YouTube garbage. I literally couldn't have gone, and I couldn't have met all the amazing people I met, and I couldn't have learned the things I learned, and I couldn't have been inspired in the way that I am inspired. So thank you. Thank you all very much for that. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Like I said, Mohawks will probably just become like the norm on stream once I acquire a set of headphones that I can actually wear with them. Which none of the headphones I earn currently work, because even though I have Bluetooth headphones, they won't connect with my PC, even when I have a Bluetooth device in it. A Bluetooth dongle, as they're called, which is such a stupid word. But in any event, so I'm going to get out of here. Let me find someone for us to raid. Maybe I could find one of my new friends. Yes! Yes, I see just the person. So we're going to raid somebody brand... Yes. Oh my god, I just, like, deafened myself. We're going to raid someone y'all have never met before, because I did not meet her until OFFKAI. For the first time ever. I met her at round 1. And she is super fucking cool. So we're gonna raid over there. I hope you all have a lovely day. And behave yourselves. Also, chat, especially, I'm talking to Twitch chat in particular. Sorry, YouTube chat, y'all are excused from this conversation. Actually, no, YouTube chat, y'all are not excused from this conversation because she streams on YouTube too. So we could rate her on both. Look at us. Look at us being all fancy. We need to have a come to Jesus chat. I'm going to be honest. We need to have a come to Jesus chat because we have got to work on our raid message etiquette, guys. Like, we're not going to do it tonight because I got to go. And it's something I need to, like, think on a little bit. But, like, we are garbage at it. We're garbage at it. And that's mostly my fault. I have not done a good job of, like, berating you guys about making sure that when we raid someone, we spam raid messages at them to make sure that they know we're there. We have raid emotes, especially if you're on Twitch and you're subbed, you do not have an excuse. I have a Kazrak raid emote that you can, like, alternate with the Tarux emote, and they're great. Please use them. But if you don't have them, we need to come up with a generic version that costs like normal, that uses normal emotes. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Please tell Goblin Thea that I said hello. I'm going to be rating her on both Twitch and YouTube. So please say hello and be polite and well-behaved. And I will see you guys when I see you guys tomorrow morning for some Elden Ring. So take care. Thanks so much for watching. Good night.